Welcome to the SmartKeys podcast. I was looking at some stats earlier, and it turns out roughly 95% of the notifications blowing up your phone right now are just completely
Oh,
meaningless.
absolutely. There's noise.
Right. The writer Spencer Hall actually calls them gamified non-events. But, seeing that little red badge on your email icon, especially when it's numbering in the thousands, it still triggers a very real physical stress response.
Yeah, your chest tightens up.
Exactly. Your breathing gets a little shallower, and suddenly your brain is convinced that you are fundamentally behind on your entire life.
Okay, let's unpack this. Today, our mission in this deep dive is to explore a brilliant article by Felix Römer from smartkeys.org. It's titled Inbox Infinity, an alternative to Inbox Zero when you can't keep up.
It's such a crucial topic for anyone working today. We are biologically hardwired to interpret an alert as a potential threat,
Wow.
or at least an urgent obligation. Our nervous systems just haven't evolved to differentiate between a critical high-stakes client crisis and, well, an automated marketing newsletter that just hit the inbox. Yeah, we end up treating a software update notification with the exact same physiological urgency as a tap on the shoulder from our boss.
Which is wild, right? But the scale of communication has just exploded. That's why this is so relevant to the modern business landscape. If you look at the fundamental shift of the last 10 to 15 years, remote work, globalized teams, all this interconnected software, it means those physical taps on the shoulder have been entirely replaced by digital pings.
So many pings.
Right. And we're dealing with automated system updates, project management alerts, and those sprawling 50-person CC chains where two people are arguing about a spreadsheet and everyone else is just collateral damage.
Oh, the dreaded reply all apocalypse. You get pulled into a thread that has absolutely nothing to do with your actual deliverables, but your inbox treats it as an urgent priority.
And because the volume is so artificially inflated, it creates this halo of importance around every single item in the queue.
Yeah.
You end up tricking your attention into a state of continuous reactive triage.
Instead of actually working.
Exactly. Instead of utilizing your premium high-energy cognitive hours for strategic thinking, you burn that energy sorting through digital clutter. It completely fragments your capacity for deep, focused work.
Uh-huh.
And that is where your real professional value is actually generated.
Yeah, so if the sheer volume of communication has broken our focus, it makes total sense that the old methodologies we use to manage our workflow are breaking under the pressure, too. We really have to look at the two competing systems people use today.
The old guard versus the new reality.
Right. So let's start with Inbox Zero. Merlin Mann coined this concept back in the early 2000s, and it was designed as an active, aggressive system of triage. You batch your emails, you make rapid decisions, you defer tasks. The literal daily goal is bringing your unread message count down to absolute zero.
Which, to be fair, was a brilliant and highly necessary strategy for the specific technological constraints of 2004. Think about the infrastructure of that era.
Oh man, the server limits.
Yeah. Email storage space was measured in megabytes. We operated on servers where emails lived on physical hard drives with really strict quotas. You had to aggressively delete messages or meticulously file them into offline nested folders just to keep your account from actively rejecting new inbound mail.
The software literally forced your hand. Treating email like Inbox Zero today, though, is like playing an endless game of digital whack-a-mole. You smack one message down, three more pop up, and you're just exhausting your own energy.
I mean, it was a physical, hard-coded constraint that masqueraded as a productivity philosophy.
We all remember getting those terrifying, your mailbox is over its size limit warnings and panicking. But the ground has completely shifted beneath our feet. Today, cloud storage is effectively infinite for the average professional user.
Right, the constraint vanished.
So because of that, Taylor Lorenz popularized a counter-movement in 2019 called Inbox Infinity. It's a radical acceptance that the unread number is going to grow, that will probably never hit zero again, and you're officially refusing to perform what the article calls fake digital paperwork.
What's fascinating here is how these attitudes connect directly to modern software trends. The transition from Inbox Zero to Inbox Infinity really mirrors a fundamental shift in how tools operate. We've moved from an era of organizing to an era of searching.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Modern email clients are built for a search-first environment. Elaborate filing into folders is now just a huge waste of time. It requires you to constantly make all these micro decisions about categorization.
And it drains you. Inbox Infinity is like treating your email as a flowing river. You just dip your bucket in when you actually need water. You don't try to organize the river.
That's a perfect analogy. The current is continuous. You can't stop it from flowing. And a modern search algorithm can parse 100,000 emails and pull up the exact thread you need in milliseconds anyway. Executives and leaders don't overfile anymore. They simply rely on advanced search functions.
Right. So, what does this all mean? How does this actually help a business or an individual stay ahead? Because it feels like we're moving from philosophy to practice here.
It comes down to the most brutal trade-off in the professional world, which is the allocation of your time. Time is the only real, non-renewable asset you have. You can buy more cloud storage, but you can't buy a 25th hour in the day.
Right.
So we have to look at the risk calculus and the mental load. Inbox zero lowers the risk of missing a message, but it costs significant chunks of your daily time.
Yeah, it might eat up 2 hours of my day just sorting.
Exactly. Inbox infinity reclaims those minutes for deep work. The trade-off being that you have occasional extra search time and, yes, a slight risk of missing a message.
Wait, hold on. I have to push back on this. If I just embrace infinity and let the river flow by, aren't I risking my job by dropping the ball on important client emails or strict deadlines? I mean, my boss isn't going to care about my flowing river metaphor if I miss a major directive.
And that fear is entirely justified. It highlights a critical nuance in the source material. The message really has to fit the role. Inbox Infinity is not a magic universal core-all. It's a highly strategic, role-based system.
Oh, okay. So it depends on what you're actually hired to do.
Exactly. You have to evaluate how your organization measures your value. If your value is driven by deep work, say you're a software developer, writing code, a strategist, a writer, a designer, then Infinity is your competitive edge. The cost of missing a minor internal email is offset by the massive gains in your output.
So if my job is to create, my primary directive is to protect my creation time. But what if my job is, being highly responsive?
Then the math changes entirely. If your team relies on tight regulatory compliance, strict SLAs, legal review, or customer-facing workflows, your actual product is your responsiveness.
Ah, I see.
In those environments, you simply cannot use Inbox Infinity. Missing an email might result in a compliance fine or a lost client. For those specific roles, maintaining Inbox Zero or using highly structured triage tools like Superhuman is mandatory for reliability.
That makes perfect sense. It removes the guilt from the choice. But, I mean, for most of us, we don't fit perfectly into just one category. Here's where it gets really interesting. How do we navigate the middle path? We need deep work, but we also can't completely ignore our clients.
A hybrid approach is definitely the answer for most people. If you want to protect your capacity for deep work, you have to build a defense system. And that starts with setting up Infinity responsibly.
Yes, the article details a great first step for this, drafting a friendly autoresponder. And not just a generic out-of-office thing, an autoresponder that explains your email habits and gives an urgent contact method.
Right, you're setting boundaries.
You might say, I process my email at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. to ensure I have dedicated time for project work. You aren't ignoring your team, you're just retraining them on how to engage with you.
And you pair that with turning off non-essential notifications, visual banners, audio chimes. We established that 95% of alerts are low value, so turning them off is a biological necessity for performing deep work.
Definitely. The context switching is brutal. When an email chimes, even if you don't click it, your brain instinctively diverts resources to assess the threat. It can take up to 20 minutes to fully re-engage with a complex task after a minor interruption.
Which is why you have to share clear communication norms with your team. If it's a real emergency, they need to know to text or call you. If they email, they're agreeing it can wait. You can also tag high-value senders so only their emails make a sound.
So that's the infinity side. But we should also steal some defensible inbox zero moves, right? Like batch processing.
Absolutely. Batch processing limits, that context switching we just talked about. Instead of leaving your inbox open all day, you open it during predetermined windows. You consolidate the cognitive cost into 2 controlled periods.
And when you're in there, you triage ruthlessly. Use the unsubscribe and block features aggressively. Stop letting automated software tax your attention.
Another great tool from the Zero Playbook is using defer or reminder tools. If an email doesn't require immediate action, snooze it. Let the software hold the memory for you so it doesn't create ambient stress in your primary inbox.
I love that. Also, creating reusable snippets or templates for fast replies. If you type the same onboarding instructions 3 times a week, turn it into a template. Standardize your filters across multiple inboxes so the software does the sorting before you even look.
So if you want the ultimate quick win, the best combination for listeners to implement today without overhauling everything is this. Pair an honest autoresponder with shared team norms, and commit to a strong search-first habit.
Just those three things.
Just those three. That trio alone will drastically reduce the noise and reclaim hours of your week.
It really fundamentally shifts the metric of your professional success, doesn't it? We have to stop treating the unread count as a metric of success.
Exactly. Marking an email as read is often just a hollow ritual. We click the bold text to make it turn gray, giving ourselves a tiny hit of dopamine, but we haven't actually moved a project forward.
We've just organized the queue.
Yes. So instead, measure your success by actual outcomes. Are you missing commitments? Are your turnaround times on truly important emails acceptable? Are you producing the deep work your role demands? Email is a tool, it's not a boss.
I love that. Email is a tool, not a boss. It really leads to a provocative final thought that builds on all this. Stop and ask yourself, if your company measures your ultimate worth by how fast you reply to incoming messages, you aren't a creator anymore. You're a router.
Oh, that's a brilliant way to frame it.
Right. Are you building a long-term career on actively routing other people's problems, or are you building a career on actually solving them? A system that prioritizes routing over solving will eventually just automate the router. Protecting your capacity for deep work is how you preserve your long-term value.
You have to fiercely protect your attention. The software is certainly not going to do it for you.
It really isn't. Well, thank you so much for tuning into the Smart Keys podcast. If this deep dive helped you rethink your workday, be sure to subscribe. And I highly encourage you to read Felix Römer's full article. You can find the link right down in the show notes. Take control of your inbox, and we'll catch you on the next one.